Hello, my name is Una Flanagan, and I would like to welcome you to my online training course called Asset Accounting Acquisitions in SAP S4HANA. This course is aimed at both beginners and intermediates, using Fiori but referencing the GUI as well. I'll explain everything from scratch, but I go into quite a bit of detail for each operation, so beginners may want to skip parts of the course and come back to them later. As the name implies, the course is about everything related to acquisitions, creating the asset master data, posting values to it, and displaying and reporting on the assets. I'll show a step-by-step explanation of the fields for most of the apps, but in some cases I'll also demo the flow. Although I already explained roughly what we'd be covering, here's the full agenda. The first section contains an overview on SAP S4HANA and an introduction to SAP Fiori, along with a quick demo of the Fiori Launchpad. If you're familiar with SAP but not S4HANA, the S4HANA overview is definitely for you, as it explains why S4HANA came about and what is different. The next section talks about the new asset accounting and the structure, in particular the differences between classic asset accounting and the new asset accounting in S4HANA. The next sections go through a number of different Fiori apps related to acquisitions, some with demos. The final section will contain a summary and, as usual, the course handouts, which will contain most of the key slides from the lessons. The next few lessons will be all about the master data, how to create, maintain, block and delete an asset master record, and how to display it in the Asset Explorer and in the new Fiori app Manage Fixed Assets. There are many ways to acquire an asset, and I'll go through a number of them. The simplest method is probably just posting an invoice against an asset, and the most complicated involves purchase requisitions, purchase orders, goods receipts, invoices, assets under construction, and settlements. If you're using the asset straight away, you may post the value directly to the asset as soon as you receive it. But if you're constructing a piece of machinery or building part of a factory, you may want to accumulate the costs on an asset under construction and only settle the costs to the final asset when everything's brought into use. Some of the other areas covered in this course include post-capitalizations, correcting mistakes by reversals, and credit memos, as well as various display transactions and reports. And of course there'll be a quiz at the end of most sections. This slide is a sneak preview of the Asset Accounting Overview page, which shows a number of KPIs in one app. You can change some of the KPIs by using the drop-down, for example to see something by cost centre or plant, instead of asset class. And you can also drill down to see more detail by double-clicking on the KPI card. As you can probably hear, I was born in England, although my father is Irish and my mother is Czech. I'm a qualified accountant, and I worked as an accountant for a number of years before becoming first an SAP Finance or FICO consultant and then an S4HANA consultant, although I have actually been called an S4HANA geek on occasion. I've worked on SAP and S4HANA for over 20 years, mostly on multinational implementation projects, which included everything from scoping out the design, configuring the system, testing, training, documentation, and post-go-live support. I'm also the author of 5 SAP books, 2 on SAP ERP, and 3 on S4HANA. My first S4HANA book was on new asset accounting, and I've worked quite a bit with assets. This is my 4th online training course with Micromanagement. My first was about Fiori reports and embedded analytics in SAP S4HANA. My second course was the first of a series on fixed assets. I started with legacy asset transfers with Fiori and S4HANA Migration Cockpit. The course after that was key aspects of asset configuration. And the courses that I'm now doing are all about the different asset accounting operations.